Hey guys, skip today, so we're shaving on 2 days of growth, and I'll bet this blade is a GEM PTFE blade. I bet it'll knock it down with no problem. We're going to try it in my Blackland Sabre single edge razor. Looking forward to that, and it has the level 2 base plate. The P10 from Zenith is a silver tip that I really enjoy, not very expensive either. And the soap is Sandalwood in the Soft Heart series from Barrister and Mann. All right. Let's go ahead and load up. I bought this razor and the base plate used. I bought the level 1 base plate, and then it was very mild. I still enjoyed it, but since it was so mild, I thought, let's try the next one up. And you can't really be picky. This is not a razor that's just super popular. And so the base plate is polished, whereas the actual razor and the top cap and the handle are brushed. Who cares? I do not. Matter of fact, it kind of has a two-tone look, which I think is cool. Now, the Sabre has this cool feature where the post here is threaded, but it's narrow. It's been squished. And so on two of the long sides, it's not threaded. And that way, a very elegant design, that post can go right through the blade hole there. See, I was showing things to you, and that just slid right out of my hands. Hopefully, everything's all right. And then, as you assemble it, you can see this is the part that goes near the handle. So we'll put the other part on there first. The easiest way to see how to put things together is there are these steps cut out of the base plate and the top cap to accommodate for the thick spine of the blade. So just align that and you'll be good to go. All right, so glossy bottom, matte finish on the top cap. And then as you put this back in together, I usually don't have too much of a problem with it, but it's easier to cross thread than a normal bolt because of the fact that the sides are cut away. And so just gently start to screw and turn the handle. And if you feel it bind, back off, try again. All right, so razor's ready to go. Razor and blade are ready. And this is a silver tip, so he's not going to need too much soaking before the shave, but I should have put him in before now. And I think we're ready to go. This is the Soft Heart, which is started out as a limited batch, smaller batch type thing, and it was by popular request, because Barrister and Mann released this base as PP8 as a tester, and it became very popular, even though he moved on to release the Excelsior soap in a different base, because that other one lasts longer. This one doesn't last as long, and but a lot of people like the performance. Well, what I like about this one is the sandalwood scent. Not a strong scent, but really nice, authentic, kind of a dry wood, sandalwood type scent. Really, really nice. I love it. All right. So I'm going to get my face wet, and then we can load up the soap. Now this is the start of a series that I'm going to do where I use this blade a bunch, and we see what happens. Probably with the Sabre, because I just really enjoy it. I might switch it up, though, to one of my other SEs. And because even though I can get lots of uses out of DE blades, I don't think I'm going to be able to get 100 uses out of this single edge. Most guys can get between 10 and 15 or more, and so we'll just see what happens. All right, so let's load up. I don't remember my last measurement in terms of load time for the PP8. Let's just do 20 seconds. There we go. Go to the 10-second mark on the next minute, and that'll be 20 seconds. you can see that really airy stuff right there. You can wash that off down the sink if you want. You don't have to keep that for your lather because it's so airy. It doesn't contain tons of soap anyway. And sometimes it can make your soap a little slower to, because then you got to slower to put together because you've got to work those bubbles out. I'm putting the excess that's around the, oh man, that smells so good. Now let's see if 20 seconds of PP8 of soft heart loading will give me enough lather. If this blade works like it has the first few couple of uses, I could probably get away with just a 2-pass shave. We'll go ahead and push in 1.5 teaspoons of water. This Silvertip brush is typical of many good Silvertips, where very easy splay, really soft tips. I do enjoy it. I don't enjoy the handle. These little spikes here, the rings that go around it are quite pointy. So I may actually get a Dremel and grind this handle off of this knot and put this knot in a better handle. Sometimes I notice that the brush starts dragging a little as I'm rotating it, and that's often a cue to add more water. 2.5 teaspoons total now. It's not tons, but I think it'll be plenty for a 3-pass shave. Three teaspoons now. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a good looking lather. Three and a half teaspoons now. Oh yeah, that lather looks great. Oh, that's beautiful. I think I'm going to take it a little bit more, a little bit wetter. He said he was actually able to put in a really nice sandalwood oil into this mix. Mysore or something like that. That had been aged 40 years at the time of production of the soap. Pretty cool. All right, I think we'll use that. Looks great. Nice and elastic. Look at that. Looks like we have plenty for the shave. Alright, give my face a little water. And this is one of those cloud soft type knots. Kind of like the golden nib premium grade silver tip, the whipped dog silver tip, the Macedo silver tip. Those are all very nice. The High Mountain White from Sterling. I think we're good. I may have need to see how it feels during the shave, but it's saying it feels like I got that water to soap ratio pretty good here. Now, I discovered with the Clog-Pruf that I've used recently that keeping the blade angle, as terms the blade is this way, keeping it very narrow where the top cap here, the top plate, is almost touching the skin was the greatest success. Let's see if it works that way with the Sabre from Blackland here. And this blade is on its now third use. Moving through the 2 days of beard growth pretty easy. Very comfortably. I think it's easier for me to keep this guy at that low blade angle than it is the type of razor like the Clog-Pruf. Now with this type of razor, with this type of blade, I can, if I shave too much or if I bring that handle closer to the skin and open up the blade angle, it can actually feel pretty good. I can get good feedback, but it's just temporary. It results in irritation. So I'm trying really careful to keep that handle out so we have a small blade angle. Well, that pass went down without any kind of discomfort. Let's see if that continues. Easily mowed through the double day growth. Oh, this sandalwood scent. Oh, that's good. Now we'll go cross grain. Again, I have to tell myself over and over to focus on that small blade angle. Continuing to focus always on things like a very light touch, that sort of thing. Yeah, looks like I really hit the sweet spot on this lather. This is terrific. Very hydrated, but really slick. I mean, it's still creamy as well. Very nice. This PP8, I think it has so many butters and things like that that they absorb into your skin after you've shaved an area. And if you let it go for long enough, then like if you finish over here, then what you started over here, you want to relather. However, if you do what I did and kind of spread it around, then you can touch up areas with no problem with that. I've gotten a lot of advice lately from HD Shaves, another YouTuber who's a big fan and has a lot more experience than I do with the single edge razors. He recommended some and has told me about technique and that sort of thing. And I'm really glad that he is expecting in a few weeks his own Sabre to arrive. And I think he's just really going to enjoy it. I don't know what base plate he ordered or is coming. I don't know if he got a used one or a new one or whatever, but to me, this just beats any of the ones I've tried recently. And I continue to have no irritation here. Keeping that blade angle low and small, the handle more out than usual is the secret, because I can remember using this very razor. It was on a blade with some more uses on it, but I believe I was just relaxing my technique and kind of falling back to my the angle that I use with a DE razor, and that's just going to give people like me a lot of irritation. All right, so last pass, and sure enough, looks like 20 seconds is a perfect amount of loading for this soap and this brush. That's good stuff. The intensity does fade a little bit, I think, as your nose gets used to it, but it's still there, still very enjoyable. All right, cross grain on my cheeks again. Raising that cheek up to help with keeping wrinkles out of the skin. Now, I'm going to switch my strategies where I've used basically 2 passes of the same type of approach for this, and now it's time to switch and come from down and go up. It's not, I can feel it. It's not moving through the hairs super easy, and so I think if I were to overwork this area by doing that too many times, I feel like I'd get irritation. So there are definitely some DE razors that work that particular section of my beard better than this. However, maybe I'm about to look at it and see that it's gotten shaved more closely than those more comfortable razors do. So that could be a good trade-off, because I actually don't feel any irritation right now. So that would be a good matchup. Guys, that's a really close shave. This is a winning combination right here. And that's terrific. So it's the third use. And that stroke that I did from here to here, I did kind of feel it tugging on the hairs just a little bit. It just didn't slice through them easy as butter. And I think the problem with those hairs right there for me is that maybe they just lay so close to the skin, and so it's really hard for a razor to get under there without actually feeling that kind of sensation. But I see very few tips at all, much less with any length on them. So that's better than I can usually get, because I don't go against the grain. So big win. And while my face still has a little bit of moisture, this is an old BaM that I have had for a few years now, and I need to use it up before it goes bad. And it is a pretty nice sandalwood BaM, lather and wood. The company may have totally changed owners by now. I got it off Amazon back then. The smell is great, and I don't really need a heavy duty BaM, and so it may or may not be, terrific for a person with dry skin, but it sure works well for me. And the scent is just a good sandalwood, to my nose at least. I need to use it more. I've still got at least a third of the bottle left. And I like the little squirt thing because I can just put a little bit in my hand to work that, put a little bit more, work it like you saw me do. All right, well, looks like 4.5 teaspoons of water is what we used, and the 22nd of loading of the soap. And so in terms of the water and the soap and the ratio today, it was just perfect. Wonderful, wonderful. A little on the drippy side, as you can see in my shirt, but that means it was well hydrated. I got to enjoy the brush on my face, and no irritation. So that's the secret. In the past, I started out well with this, and then the last time I used it, it was rough. And I'm sure that's what I did. I defaulted back to a more open blade angle, a more kind of 30 degrees DE style handle angle, and that's not what I need to be doing with this razor. And in fact, apparently the other single edges as well. And this treated me very well. No weepers, no razor burn, anything like that. Just terrific. A little side note here, it looks like Shane at Blackland has given us an easy way to tell the level 2. There are 2 dots right there next to the hole, the center hole, and that tells you it's a level 2. Well, there we go. The Clog-Pruf that I've used recently did well on my face as long as I had that small, narrow blade angle. However, when I got to this area here, the skin is just not as tight, and so I got irritation from it, even when I was focusing on a good blade angle. This guy is different. He maintained control the whole way through, and so he must just have a less aggressive head design, lower gap, that sort of thing, perhaps, less exposure. So for me, this is just terrific. I could easily use this razor every day if I wanted to. And since it looks like we might be able to get 15 uses out of it, maybe 20, I figure let's do a kind of a little SE blade marathon. I will use it regularly, this blade, probably mostly in the Sabre here, and we'll see how long we can get it to go for. I do have a new charcoal goods handle for my everyday head, and I'm excited to bring that. And so maybe after a couple of uses with this razor, I'll switch and use that as a DE and then come back to the Sabre. But I don't think I'll be able to hold off in enjoying that razor for too much longer. All right, I'm gonna just clean up my area. I think we're good. The scents, everything was terrific with this this shave. The scents on both the BaM and the soap were wonderful. Lather was on point. Thanks to the wisdom I've gotten from others, like HD, I kept that blade angle at something that was suited for my skin. Very small angle, and I was rewarded with a close very close shave with no irritation. So I'm happy. All right, guys. There we go. I hope that this video has got something good in it for you. You take care. Have a good night.